YouTube, it's me Samantha. I am jumping on to do a tutorial for this fun brown smoky eye. So let's get started. I've already done this whole half side of my face, and this eye I just primed with some standard Urban Decay primer potion. Okay, so now I am going to start with my brow bone highlight with a fluffy brush. And this is in MAC Soft Force, so you can use something from MAC if you are a MAC fan. You can use nylon or rice paper, and I apply it to the top of my brush, and I actually start from the inside of the eyebrow up to the highest point of my brow and then down, and then once I've used most of the product I flip the brush over and blend that down. I'm going to do that one more time. Also, you can always do this look pretty much with the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone palette, which is going to be in this tutorial, and you could just use this as your brow bone color. They are fairly similar. Alright, and now I am going to go into a MAC eyeshadow, and this is MAC's eyeshadow in the color of Tete-a-Tint, and it's a nice warm orangey skin tone type of brown, and I'm just going to take it on a fluffy brush and I'm going to rock it in my socket. So I'm going to start on the outer corner. Sorry, my bangs are getting in the way. I'm going to start in the outer corner and do a windshield wiper motion in towards the inner eye in the crease, and I'm going to do windshield wiper motions back and forth and circles on the outer corner, blending up into that soft force, up into that brow bone color. And if you have too much, just flick off the excess, and just doing tiny circular motions. And when I get towards the inner part of the brow bone, I'm going to go up. I like when there is a nice contrast and a nice transition from the beginning of the brow down towards the inner corner of the eye, and just tiny circular motions to buff that color in. And once you get it to the desired pigmentation you like and you don't think there's any harsh lines between those two colors, then move on to the next color. Maybe I'm just going to take with that brow bone color brush and blend that in. Then I am going to take a nice corner crease brush, and I am going to go into MAC's Espresso and MAC's Swiss Chocolate. This is MAC's Espresso. Yes, I've hit pan, I'm sorry. It's just a nice matte brown, no shimmer. And I'm just going to put a little on my outer V and kind of work that in my crease. And I'm just doing windshield wiper motions back and forth, going in further a little each time. That way I don't have as much shadow on the brush as when I started on this outer corner, because that's where we want the most concentration. Okay, tiny circular motions, try and blend out any harsh lines between those two colors, the browns. Then I'm going to take my Urban Decay 24/7 liner in Whiskey. This came with my Naked palette, and I am going to put it on my lid just towards the lash line. The line doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to blend it out, and I'm also going to rim the lower lash line as well, because we're just going to smudge it. So don't worry about it being perfect. That is not what we're going for, so it's actually okay. And I'm going to use my ring finger and blend this line out and up towards the crease. Just blend it out with your finger while it's still able to be moved, and the lower lash line, just so you can have a nice smoked out look. Okay, so now I've blended that out. I'm going to take a flat e.l.f. brush, and I am going to go into MAC's Wedge, which is a nice soft neutral brown, and it is a matte. I'm going to pat that on top of that Urban Decay Whiskey. Just pat that all over the lid, in towards the inner corner a little bit, and all over the lid. Okay. And then I'm just going to take what's ever left on my brush and go on my lower lash line as well. Then I am going to go back in with this same brush and go into the Comfort Zone palette and use this shimmering kind of rusty pink type color, and just over where my eyeball is, over my iris, I'm going to put a little shimmer there, and I'm just going to pat it on and kind of blend it back and forth. That way I don't have any crazy transition, and I'm going to go back into the wedge and kind of blend it in so that there's not any harsh lines. That way I have a little more focus on my eye. I'm going to go back in with this crease brush and make my outer corner a little more dramatic. Okay. Now I'm going to take this down underneath to my lower lash line as well. And I'm going to take my blending brush again and just go in and blend it all together. Marry these colors all together. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with a tiny little brush. This is a Low Cornell, it's a paint brush. And if you guys want to know more about that, just leave a comment and I will tell you, or I can do a video on them. And in my inner corner, my tear duct, I'm actually using MAC's Vex, which is a nice gray pink dual chrome. And I'm just using it in the inner corner and kind of blending it up towards my brow and underneath. And then I'm going into MAC's Motif, which is another dual chrome, and that is like a peachy pink gold. And marrying those two colors together, so I have two dual chromes in my inner corner. I feel like that definitely makes the eyes when you have something in your inner corner to make it pop. I'm just going to blend that in so that we have a nice transition together. And I know I've said transition like 600 times already in this video, but it is important to blend colors together so that you have that merriment of the colors. They just look like they all fade together, which is what we want. Okay, and I dipped back into a little bit of Swiss chocolate, which is the more red brown from MAC. Okay, so I'm happy with that, and I'm just going to show you my inner corner because I didn't. It's just you can't see the dual chrome on these two colors. This is Motif and this is Vex, and they're both from MAC, but you can use the e.l.f. Transformers palette, which I should have used. I didn't even think about that. Now I'm going to go back in with my Urban Decay brown pencil and whiskey, and I'm going to line my lash line. And this one you do want to make sure it is straight because we're going to keep this one on. And then I'm going to go back under a little bit, about halfway into my eye, and I am going to connect it on the outer corner. Okay, and always try and keep it a little thinner towards the inner part of your eye. And just take a little bit of the Espresso and just kind of smoke out that outer corner of the eyeliner. I'm going to go in with my Rimmel Sexy Curves in Extreme Black and just apply it to my lashes. Start at the root, do a zigzag motion all the way up, and work your way in to the middle of the lashes, then the inner part of the lashes. Okay. And if you want to let it dry and always apply a second coat, and then I do my bottom lashes as well. I do think mascara on bottom lashes makes a big difference to any look. Okay. So I'm satisfied with that as I get mascara all over me. And now I'm just going to do my blush and bronzer real quick. I'm taking an angled brush from Coastal Scents and my Mega Glow Illuminating Powder in Starlight Bronze from Wet n Wild. And I'm just going to contour, start from the top of the ear in towards the corner of the lip, and bring that in a nice back and forth motion. That way you don't have a harsh line. And work your way up towards your temple and up in the forehead. And you want to do a 3, so 3. I'm doing the shape of a 3. And then I want to contour my nose a little bit on the sides because I feel I have a wider nose, and underneath my chin. Okay. Then I'm going to take my, someone did one of my favorite subbies, actually let me know, it's a Sonia Kashuk brush. And I'm going to go into Lorac's Velvet Rope blush, and I'm just going to apply that to my cheek right above the bronzer and kind of marry those two colors together on the apple of my cheek just a little and work my way back towards my hairline. Okay. And then I'm going to go into another Mega Glow powder, and this is Catwalk Pink, and I'm just going to take these two top pale colors and put them on a nice firm brush. as my highlight, and I'm going to put it on the highest